I want to establish a proposition that what Africa needs the most and urgently today is not STEM, but management. We need a critical mass of good management. The calls from many sectors of our communities to STEMatize our education is something that I cannot dismiss as something which is wrong. It's good for us to increase our knowledge and understanding of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. But my argument is that STEM is one of other factors of production that requires good management, a good management which can turn that raw material called STEM, a good management which can turn cash into capital, which can turn STEM into a real capability. What we have, the problem that we have in Africa is that cash is not capital, because we lack the institutional, managerial, entrepreneurial, and organizational framework that can enable us to turn that cash into capital. So, not only cash, but other factors of production like land, human resource, suffer the same thing. We don't have the managerial capabilities, the managerial competence that can enable us to turn these resources into assets. Right. So I would suggest that instead of talking of STEM in the old sense of STEM, let us try to redefine it, right? So that we come up with an approach that can be relevant to our needs, to our challenges, to our ideals and aspirations. Take, for example, S in the old STEM represents science, but we should take S to represent sociology, because the problems that we have are more societal in nature than anything else. We live hand to mouth. We have extended families. When somebody's business fails, it's not because they have poor business practices, but in most cases, it's the societal problems that interfere with their businesses. So we have personal issues, home issues that interfere with the business affairs, and at the end of the day, the business will collapse. So we need to understand the societal nature, the societal challenges, and try to fix those societal challenges that we have. Right. Then take T to represent technology. But in this case, when I say technology, I refer to trivial technologies. In Africa, we don't want sophisticated technologies. We want trivial technologies that can be employed at the bottom of our societal pyramid, where we find most of the poor people. So if we can have technology being made accessible to that bottom of the pyramid, we can do a lot in terms of improving, in terms of uplifting their lifestyle. If they can be able to produce whatever they want to produce using trivial technology for their own benefit, something which can make their life cheaper, affordable, making their product cheaper and affordable, then we can be able to fix the poverty that is affecting that pyramid. Then E, instead of engineering, let us talk of entrepreneurship. We need entrepreneurial capabilities, and we need to train a critical mass of entrepreneurs, people who have social skills, people who are able to build social capital, people who are able to mobilize resources, people who are resourceful. Many people complain about our engineers, and they accuse our engineers for not being innovative. They say, given the problems that we have in Africa, our engineers are failing to come up with the products to solve these problems. I would suggest that, given my school of thought is given from what my introduction, the point is the same. We don't have entrepreneurs who should rope in these engineers, who should mobilize capital, put these engineers and capital under one roof, and give them a project to work on. These engineers are raw materials. They need to be employed. Right? So we should never expect these engineers to use their own resources to come up with products. Henry Ford would take these engineers and tell them what he wants them to do, and he finances the innovation. So this is the kind of entrepreneurship that we want. The last aspect is M, management. So instead of focusing on mathematics, I respect mathematics. Mathematics is the science of thinking. I respect the Egyptians because there is a lot of mathematics along the Nile River, but the point remains the same. Without proper, quality, good management, these mathematicians will remain idle. These mathematicians will not be employed, because we need managers who should manage them, employ them into doing something productive. Right? We need tough task masters who should assign tasks to these mathematicians for them to produce real outputs. Right? So the problem that we have in Africa is that we don't have good management both at public sector and private sector, at a microeconomic level and a macroeconomic level. We are suffering, and perhaps this explains why multinational companies, when they are when they come to operate in Africa, they bring their own managers. So I think because the quality of management, there is a gap. There is a very wide gap. So they bring their own managers. But I would suggest that we need to improve our management styles. Japan did very well economically. It enabled to transform itself from a poor country to a developed nation because they realize the importance of good management in their institutions. So most companies send students to American universities to understand the American management style. So when these graduates came back, they remodel the American management style. And the results were there for all to see. Right. So the point that I'm trying to drive is management is key, and we need to invest in management. We need to send our students abroad for them to learn the best practices of management. This is Coach Chenjerai Mukandiona, the Mindset Coach.